All right. So, what is up? It's been a while since I made a recording. It's been a good while since I've given my thoughts on certain things, such as the Eagles' off season or their playoff run, and the off season that's followed. I've been keeping up with it, but life has been life in a little bit. A lot of things have been taking place that required my attention. I've been busy, and when you haven't done something in a while, it's easy to just keep putting it off and putting it off and forgetting about it, and you know just just in general not wanting to be bothered with it. But again, I've been really busy over the last couple of months, and I don't want to say that I've neglected the Philadelphia sports teams, because I haven't. I've obviously been keeping up with what's going on with the Eagles and their drama, the Sixers, as they've gone through pretty much the grind of the regular season. A lot of injuries, a lot of games, and how they're right in the thick of the playoff race right now, playoff/play-in chase, and obviously the Phillies. Opening day starts today at 4:15 with their first series against the Texas Rangers. And you know, last over in the past, I've kind of like done a game by game, play by play analysis of each of the teams and how they've been performing. That was kind of my format in the past. I would review, in this case, baseball. I would review each series after it was over, whether it was 2 games, 3 games, 4 games, and I would just give my opinions and my thoughts on it. But this year, speaking directly to baseball, because again, opening day of the season is today. I'm not going to try to go after give my thoughts on each series after it's over so much, but I'm just going to kind of go through the regular season and just give my thoughts on how the Phillies look at certain points of the year. I'm going to try to not make it so robotic and so analytical, but try to pepper in a little more free-flowing opinions and thoughts of that sort. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try that as I go into year 2 of reviewing or giving my thoughts on Phillies baseball, and I'm going to do that with the Eagles and the Sixers too. I mean, after the Eagles, that season is off in the distance a little bit. We still have the NFL draft and training camp and OTAs and all that other good stuff. So I'll get to that eventually. And as the Sixers playoff push increases, as we get to the end of the NBA season, again, I wasn't there for the dog days of the Sixers season through January and February and most of March. The Sixers, they went on some rough times, but I'm going to do my best, especially now as the playoffs get closer, as the Sixers try to close in hopefully a playoff spot, but if not, try to lock in that play-in spot. I'm going to be reviewing and keeping up with the Sixers, and giving my thoughts on that as well. So I'll be doing that for the Eagles, Sixers, and hopefully the Flyers too. Maybe the Flyers will make some noise. But I'm going to right now just lock in on the Phillies. And that's what this recording, that's what this segment is going to be about. It's going to be about locking in on the Phillies and, just giving my thoughts on the regular season as it goes along. And hopefully it culminates in a playoff spot towards the end of September. So I'll be doing that. I'm going to try and keep it a little bit more loose, not be so by the numbers. I'll be doing some by the numbers stuff too, but not be so regimented in my segments. So that's what I'll be doing. And this segment in particular is going to be focusing on the Phillies opening day and what I expect from the Phillies in 2026. So that's what I'll get into, and the other stuff will come along later. I promise. As it pertains to the Phillies, they're obviously in 2026. I don't know what the future holds for the Phillies beyond this season. A work stoppage is almost guaranteed at this point for the Phillies, for the entire major league, not just the Phillies. And beyond this year, it's very uncertain as to what the Phillies will be. I said that last year, in a lot of ways, was kind of like the last stand for the team as we knew it, and that still could very well be the case. That could still very well be the case. A couple of notable guys are gone. Nick Castellanos is gone. He had kind of like a mixed bag of a tenure here. He has some great moments. He has some moments where he wasn't, where he was definitely the villain. Well, I won't say the villain, but he was definitely a scapegoat. To put it nicely, Nick Castellanos was a scapegoat. Personally, I liked Nick. I liked his fire. I thought that, like everybody else, I thought that he could kind of be a wild child at the plate there. But for me, his good moments, to the ratio of his good moments to his bad moments, I say was probably about a 55-45, 60-40 in favor of good. I was sad to see him go because I really thought that he was good for our city, and his kind of like temperament and his almost unpredictable ways. I feel like you need a guy like that on your team, regardless of what sport you play. And he didn't. He didn't deliver in some big spots. That's true, but he did. And between that and having his son Liam at the games, and just his overall energy, I'm gonna miss that. It was sad to see him go, but it was turned out to be something that needed to be done between the locker room or the clubhouse dynamic. Obviously, he has some kind of falling out with Rob Thompson and maybe even management too. So it was unfortunate the way it played out, but I wish him the best. I hope that he thrives now wherever he lands. I don't know if he's landed with another team of late, but whatever it is that he continues to do, whether it's baseball or something else, I wish him all the best. And then Ranger Suarez, who departed for the Red Sox, that was obviously a to me, I think it was a much bigger blow than it was Nick Castellanos. Not to say that losing Nick wasn't tough, but losing Ranger is definitely a tough deal, and I don't know what our bullpen is going to, not our bullpen, what our starting rotation is going to look like. It is tough to deal with because Ranger was such a, when he was on, man, Ranger was the real deal. He was a big piece for us, and to not have him now is going to take some adjusting. It's going to take some getting used to, not just watching the games, but I'm sure for the team as well. But I mean, Ranger, he was probably deserving of the payday that he got. I don't remember the particulars of his deal. I know it was something big, but it's an adjustment. It's an adjustment for us, man. You know, there's going to be a lot of adjusting this year, and I think that if the Phillies are going to do anything, this is. I know I said last year was the year for them to do it, but this year, man, this year is really put up or shut up for the Phillies, because as I mentioned, there's almost positively going to be a work stoppage. The CBA is set to expire. The baseball CBA is set to expire in 2000 on December 1st, 2026, and that means that there will be likely no baseball for some of, if not most of, if not all of 2027. And if that were to be the case, if there was a worst case scenario where there was no baseball in 2027, then we would have to fast forward to 2028. And the guys that we have now, Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, Zach Wheeler, if he's even still here, they're all going to be 2 years older than what they are right now. And, you know, people are already calling them old. People are already calling them, you know, the senior citizens of baseball. I mean, they're not, but, you know, if we're keeping it real, you know, they're on kind of like a downward trajectory at this stage in each of their careers. You know, we still have young studs like Christopher Sanchez, Crawford, Justin Crawford, Andrew Painter. We have those guys who are set to take over and keep the Phillies tradition going. But our big name guys, they're getting older. They're not getting any younger. And you know, we have to do something this year. We cannot waste any more days. We cannot waste any more opportunities that we have. Again, 2025 felt like the last hurrah, but 2026, I really believe it is the last hurrah. Because if we don't win a World Series this year, if we don't win a championship this year, it's very likely that it won't happen with this crew. I'm not saying that it can't happen, but I'm not saying that, you know, those guys will never win a World Series, but it probably won't be with the Phillies. If we don't do it this year, Rob Thompson probably is not here going forward. Dombrowski, he's probably not here going forward. I mean, there's a lot riding on this season for the Phillies. And, you know, again, put up or shut up, guys. It's time. It's time for us to do something. And I know that baseball is a grind. 162 games in the span of 6 months is a grind. It's going to be, just like I've said before, it's going to be peaks and valleys in a baseball season, man. That's just how it is. There's going to be days where we have awful pitching performances. There's going to be days where guys are cold at the plate. I mean, ice cold. Consecutive days of 0 for 4, 0 for 5, 3 strikeouts, errors, mixed in with, you know, gems, 7, 8, 9 innings strong, 1-run ball, 3 homer games, 2 homer games, web gems. It's all going to be a part of this of this run that we're trying to go on, and we just have to learn to accept what it is and what it's going to be. But the ultimate goal for the Phillies is to win the World Series. I don't care about winning the division, winning the NL East, whether we get in as a wild card team. All of that stuff is irrelevant to me, because I've seen it over the past 4 years. I've seen the Phillies be a wild card team, sneak into the playoffs, and come within 2 wins of a championship. I've seen them blow a 3-2 series lead, having both games at home. I don't like talking about it, but I've seen it happen, where they had the opportunity to clinch a consecutive World Series appearance, which they probably would have won two times on their home field, and they come up small in both games. I've seen them, you know, drop a terrible, terrible playoff series to their bitter rival, who, really has one-upped us, especially this past offseason where we were in a bidding war for Bo Bichette, and he for some reason turned us down to join the Mets. I don't know what the heck that was about, but that's a discussion for another day. I've seen the Phillies lose in the most heartbreaking fashion to a team that I think that we were better than last year in the Dodgers. I've seen it all. I've seen the whole scope of Philly Philly high and lows, except a world championship. And at this point, at this stage, for not just for myself but for those guys, that's all I care about. I don't care about winning the division. That's great. I don't care about winning 90 games. That's great. I don't care about winning 100 games. That's great. I'm of the mindset, you get into the playoffs and you figure out a way to get it done. No one cares about style points. Nobody cares about, looking pretty while you do it. No one cares about regular season MVPs or silver sluggers or gold gloves or batting titles or any of that other stuff. All I care about, and I think all that the Philadelphia sports fan cares about, is winning the World Series. Because a lot of careers and a lot of legacies, if we're being honest, are riding on it. I mean, Bryce Harper has been one of the best players in the majors for the majority of his career, and he's done everything that Philadelphia could have wanted him to do except win a World Series. He's been in Philadelphia longer than than he was in Washington as a member of the Nationals. And Bryce Harper's legacy in a lot of ways is really running on, whether or not he's able to win a championship with us. And I love me some Bryce Harper. I couldn't stand him when he was in Washington, but ever since he's been in Philadelphia, he's been everything that I could have hoped, and Philadelphia sports fans could have hoped for it too. And maybe the offseason drama with him, because he had some run-ins with Dombrowski verbally over this past offseason. So maybe that will light a fire under him. Maybe Bryce Harper will turn back the clock 10 years. I think he's 33 now. Maybe he'll turn back the clock 10 years or even 5 years. Because it was 5 years ago that he won his second National League MVP with us. So maybe that will be the fire that gets Bryce Harper going. I don't know. We'll have to see. But what I do know is that this year, man, it's all about winning the World Series. That's all we want. That's all I want. That's all I care about. All this other stuff is really, scraps. So they're sports scraps, leftovers, vittles. We want the big piece of chicken. we want the entree, man. We don't want all these other little appetizers or all these other little hors d'oeuvres or all these little, whatever. We want the entree. We want the big thing. We want the championship. So that's where I'm at with it, man. Going into this season, that's what it is. These guys know what they have to do. They know what's expected of them, and I think that a lot of people are counting them out. A lot of people are not projecting them to be major players in the championship push. A lot of people are looking at the Mets. I think Mets have like over $300 million on their payroll between two or three guys. Something ridiculous. I mean, New York, they always spend money, and they always New York Mets, I should say, they always spend money, and they historically come up short in the most incredible of ways. So, but people are still going to pick the Mets. People are still going to, expect the Mets to finish out. And so hopefully that'll be a catalyst for us to really come up and usurp them in the way of expectations. They did it last year. The Mets came up incredibly small when they needed to, and maybe they'll do it again this year. It would be the most New York Met thing for them to do. But nevertheless, regardless of what's going on over there in red and white, we gotta handle our business. We've got to answer the call, and it starts today. It starts today. It starts against the It starts against in this 3-game series against the Texas Rangers. One game at a time, one series at a time, one pitch at a time, one at bat at a time, and we'll be all right. We'll be okay. We'll be good. It's time. We've been waiting for this ever since that incredibly heartbreaking Orion Kerkering pitch in Los Angeles last year. Was that 6 months ago? Almost 6 months ago. We've been waiting for this moment, and it's time for the Phillies to answer the call. So that's what it is. That's what's going on. I'm looking forward to it. Again, as we go throughout the season, I won't be reviewing. I'll try not to review every single series, go through the numbers, but just keep it loose. Again, I'm not a professional at this. I'm not an advanced podcaster, so just bear with me. I'm going to try to keep this. Try to have a nice combination of being natural, but also at the same time being, being factual, natural and factual as well. So it's baseball season, man. Baseball season is back. Phillies baseball is back. The weather is finally starting to break. We're going to have some great weather in Philadelphia over the next couple of weeks. I think it's supposed to rain a couple of days, but at least it's not snowing. At least we're not getting blizzards like we were a month ago at this time. It's crazy. The weather is not 16 degrees, or the weather doesn't feel like it's 16 degrees. We're finally we're finally going to have some days that we can enjoy again. So Phillies baseball's here. I'm looking forward to it. Hope you're looking forward to it too. And it's exciting. It's exciting. Whenever something new, whenever something fresh is approaching, it makes you feel good. It makes you look forward to what could possibly be, what good could possibly come from it. And I'm sure that all the teams are feeling that way. We are, in a new season, every team feels like they've got a shot, whether they were the Dodgers who won the World Series, or whether they were a team like the Rockies or the White Sox who were bottom feeders. Every team feels like they have a chance, and the Phillies certainly should feel that way. They've been contenders. They've been in the playoff picture the last 4 years, and I expect them to this year. But finish the job. That's what we want now. Finish the job. Phillies and Rangers kick off at 4:15 today for first pitch scheduled. Hopefully the guys are ready. Bryce, Trey, JT, Kyle, Sanchez, fresh off that new contract extension he got. Painter, Crawford, Stott, Marsh, Boom, everybody else on the squad, all of the utility bullpen guys, Thompson, Topper, coaching. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Phillies baseball is back. Starts today with the Rangers. Go Red, and let's see what this 2026 season brings us. It's a good time to be a baseball fan, but it's an even better time to be a Phillies fan.